Hello and welcome to the Gaggle, where we challenge and, if necessary, destroy media narratives. I'm George Szamuely, and with me today, of course, is co-founder of the Gaggle, Peter Lavelle, who's also host of RT's talk show, Cross Store. Well, Monday, we were in a good mood. We were celebrating the astonishing denial of the United States' extradition request for Julian Assange. It was unexpected, and it was wonderful. However, we did express some caveats as to what happens now, because we believe that a automatic release for Julian Assange was not necessarily on the cards. Our gloomy prognosis has been fully borne out by events. The United States intends to file an appeal against the denial of the extradition request, and it demands that during this appeals process, Julian Assange remain imprisoned. And the judge today agreed with the US government and ordered Julian's continued imprisonment in Belmarsh prison, the Supermax prison. This is an outrageous act on a number of levels. In the first place, and most obvious place, if you win in the legal process, then you are expected to enjoy some relief. That's the way the legal process works. You enjoy some relief. So the minimum that he would have expected is to be released into home confinement to be with his family. Or even in the worst case scenario, he would be sent to a more humane, less secure prison. He got none of that. The other outrageous aspect of it is that the grounds on which the extradition request was denied, humanitarian grounds, namely that Julian was prone to depression, prone to suicidal thoughts, is completely vitiated by the judge ordering his continued imprisonment in a Supermax prison when he hasn't committed any crime. So it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever as to what she did. Peter, what's your take?
It begs a question here. So during the appeal process, whoever is running it in Washington should, telegraph out on every single level. I mean, even to the point of a smoke screen, or you use carrier pigeons. Let him get healthy. Let him get healthy. Okay, if we're going to extradite him, we want him to be a healthy person. I mean, your point is so well taken. I mean, let's be honest. We expected this here. We didn't expect that the case would be, the extradition case would be thrown out, at least at this point here. But we did have a little glimmer of hope that maybe some kind of humane holding place for him, which he hasn't gotten. And it doesn't make any sense to me at all. So, I mean, he has suicidal thoughts now. I mean, how are you going to thwart that? How are you going to adjust for that? You're not. So we're in many ways, we're in the same place. And I don't know, neither one of us are lawyers. I don't know how long an appeal process takes. So how many more months of this? I mean, this judge doesn't make any sense. She came to a ruling based on humanitarian grounds, but her humanitarian grounds go only so far to the case that the extradition that the United States is pushing. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. It's not logical, and it's inhumane, in fact.
Yes, of course it's inhumane, because he has committed no crime. He has been convicted of no crimes. So he has now been essentially imprisoned in the Supermax prison since April 2019. So that's almost 2 years, while this whole extradition process has been going on. And now she says, well, you've got to continue being in prison here, even though there are no charges whatsoever that are pending against you. It is absolutely barbaric. And again, can you imagine if this was Russia? Imagine, the way the media would cover this. I mean, imagine if this is, somebody who has committed no crime, been convicted of no crime, and he's continued to sit in a Russian supermax prison. I mean, there'd be outrage throughout the world's media.
Nobel Peace Prize.
Exactly. A Nobel Peace Prize. This, as we say, makes no sense. If you're going to cite humanitarian grounds, you're going to say that this was a person who is clearly very seriously depressed because of this confined situation that he's in, this unjust confinement that he's in. Then how does it make any sense just to send him there? And as you say, the appeals process could take a long time because it goes through the High Court. That's going to take a few months. And then whichever way the High Court rules, it doesn't matter whether it rules in his favor again or it rules in favor of the US government, that goes to the UK Supreme Court. So we're talking about possibly several years of confinement for somebody who has done nothing wrong. I mean, the injustice is so outrageous.
Well, we commented on Monday that the judge's decision is an extreme indictment of the American legal system, but her decision on bail is an equally egregious indictment of the British legal system now, because you can't invoke humanitarianism on one hand, on the other hand deny it. Okay, it negates. All right, so this is a complete absolute farce. And it is a gross human rights violation. And as you've pointed out here, is that Julian Assange has not been convicted of a crime, okay? And he's in this maximum security facility for mass murderers, for people that presumably child abusers. I mean, you're the worst of the lot, okay? Yeah. And he's put into the same group. This is astounding here, okay? We have to make it very clear to everyone that Julian Assange is being scapegoat for many reasons here. Number one, that the deep state, the permanent bureaucracy is making it very clear on both sides of the Atlantic that nothing like this, no one like Julian Assange and WikiLeaks will ever be stood for again, ever, full stop, okay? And plus, empire, it cannot control itself. It must have revenge. It must have a pound of flesh, okay? And this has nothing to do with international law. This has nothing to do with the state security of the United States or the UK. It has nothing to do with this. It has never been proven that WikiLeaks endangered and lost lives because of its unbelievable whistleblowing efforts over a 10-year period when Julian was running it himself here. So this is such an atrocity, and as happy as I was on Monday, I'm in the same degree broken by this news here. It was completely unnecessary. It is unnecessary.
Right. But that's it. And then you wonder, well, what is the point of having all these gradations of courts if it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter what you rule. The result is exactly the same. I mean, there's no point. We'll have a lower court, and then we have a higher court, and then an even higher court. But it doesn't matter. I mean, whichever way it goes, it does. The outcome is exactly the same. I mean, that really is a kind of a tyranny. I mean, whatever happens, you're still in prison.
I mean, the pathetic thing here, George, is that countries like the United States and the UK pride themselves on the issue of free speech, and they pride themselves on due process of law. They are fallen completely on their face on both of these things here. They have nothing. They have no right going around the world telling people about what freedom of speech means and due process. They have no right to do that now. They have abdicated their lofty perch that they like to preach from. Okay, this is an absolute atrocity. And again, I implore upon people to watch this and share it. Okay, you know, democracy promotion and civil society promotion, all of that is it's all bluster. It's all nonsense. It means nothing. Those are empty words. Okay, all I want to do is have these people in authority in the intelligence community to take a good long look in the mirror, and if you ever do, you're going to hate what you see.
Yep, no question. I just read an article in Politico where some former Obama administration official is urging the incoming Biden administration to go on a global democratic crusade. And this is kind of interesting because, you know, it's like they've learned nothing. You know, they've learned nothing, forgotten nothing. That's it. Yeah, you know, that's it. We're going back on our, because it was so successful, everything that we did during the Obama years, how we, you know, the catastrophes that we had led to in the Middle East, then the catastrophes in Ukraine. Let's go back to that. So let's try to topple Orban in Hungary and the government in Poland. That's what we need. And,
well, you know, we can have Hunter Biden as a goodwill ambassador on top of that.
Exactly.
You know what?
And making
and you know what his portfolio will be? Anti-corruption. That will be his portfolio. As exactly,
yes.
You know,
anti-corruption. Yeah. While you make a few bob along the way, you know, it's like, yes, thank you very much for the check. Yeah, that's it. And it's, as I say, you look in the mirror. You're going to go on a democratic crusade when you persecute a journalist in this way. I mean, you know, it's like, how dare you, you know, talk about, you know, Orban or Putin or whoever when this is the way you behave.
Well, we're going to obviously be keeping a very close eye on this here, every step of the way. Please take a look at our video on that we did on Monday. Please like, share, and like, subscribe, and share this video as well. The Gaggle is going to keep a laser-like focus on this story here. Thanks, George.